stand for any blessings. We ask that you be with us and guide us as we conduct the city business. Be with us as Covey and I travel this evening to see the governor. Just make what we can talk to him about be something he wants to hear, and it will help us out. So we ask these things in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Call the roll, please. Benita, did you almost forget to come? It's been so long. I'm sure you had something to make up for it, though. Helen, give you that signed sheet of paper?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay.
Commissioner Vaughn, Commissioner Milliken.
Here.
Commissioner Prater, Commissioner Val.
Here.
Mayor Foster.
Here. City attorney's on vacation. So consider municipal order 2012-95, approval of the minutes of a special call town hall meeting on Monday, July 9th, 2012. I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
It's going to be Bill and Martha show tonight. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Vaughn, Commissioner Milliken.
Yes.
Commissioner Val.
Yes.
Mayor Foster.
Yes. Municipal order 2012-96, approval of the minutes of the regular session held on Monday, June 25th, 2012. Need a motion?
I'll move.
Second.
Martha and Bill this time. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Milliken.
Yes.
Commissioner Val.
Yes.
Mayor Foster.
Yes. Municipal order 2012-97 to renew utility billing mailing contract from Smart Mail Limited. We just did that for a year, didn't we?
You just did it for a year.
Yeah.
What did they say about that other Helen that they're trying to charge us for?
Oh, they had the wrong misunderstanding. They can print that on the bill. They thought they
Okay,
had
so they're
something
gonna fix
covered.
it for it.
They
Okay.
can fix it.
Okay.
She's still working on it.
All right.
Do you have any problem, Lisa, with this
I
contract?
found everything to be okay, you know, and they're staying within the budget that they, you know, they're staying within, everything's staying within the budget that we set up. You know, they haven't been going over on anything.
And you have no issues or anything?
I don't, now, I don't deal
No,
with,
it's time to reorder stationery and, no, envelopes and stuff again.
yeah, and I told her to wait till we approved it.
They got enough to mail out this mail.
And they don't do that,
They're completely out.
we have to provide.
Well, we pay for it.
Okay.
We tell them, hey, yeah, go ahead and order it, but we have to pay for it, and they won't order it.
Because of your supplier?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I need motion to renew this utility billing contract.
I'll move.
Second.
Martha, Bill, any further discussion? Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Milliken.
Yes.
Commissioner Val.
Yes.
Mayor Foster.
Yes.
You're too soon.
Municipal order 2012-98, authorization for the city manager to advertise for a part-time animal control officer / code enforcement officer. You want to talk about that a little bit?
This is in the strategic planning from one of the town hall meetings, and it's in the budget. And we're going to
Advertise
a week in the Fulton Leader for that position.
I might just, knowing our city manager, I'm sure this has already been taken care of, but I'm not so sure that we were totally familiar with our ordinances that we had that would relate to code enforcement and animal control previously when we had an animal control officer or code enforcement officer. I would like for us to take a look at specifically the ordinances that this person would be responsible for. And I'm not so sure that we had an adequate, aggressive position description. Even I'm not sure how accountable we were at that time. So I would appreciate it if we could just, I mean, I think this is a great thing and we need to approach it aggressively, but I think the person needs to be accountable, and I'm not so sure that we had the good accountability controls in place previously.
We didn't, but we will.
Okay.
I'm working with fire chief and police chief, and matter of fact, they've already started looking at the ordinances and seeing if we have an ordinance for a certain thing, and
Right.
it's gonna take a while, but we've got a plan, and it's already in motion.
Don't that sound good?
It does.
How many hours a week will they work?
100 a month. Is that right?
1,200 a year, 12 hours a week.
Okay.
I move that we approve that.
No, second.
Okay, call roll, please.
Commissioner Miller?
Yes.
Commissioner Fowler?
Yes.
Mayor Forster?
Yes.
And thank you, Cub and Chief, for already, I was confident that that was the case. I just think that we can make sure you know what we want to accomplish, and then we can look to see if we're accomplishing that.
With Cub, and I'm sure you talk with him, and this man will be aggressive, and we've got some ideas. So
Thank you. Thank you very much.
We'll try to stay one step ahead of it.
And you're gonna have to, you gotta stay hopping, that's all I gotta tell
You
you.
do.
But, Gunny's working on code enforcement. He's upside down on code enforcement.
I need some help.
Needs some help.
And that's kind of what that person could help do is, you know, with the right guidance, they stay busy.
Oh, yeah, I mean, I could drive around town and you can't, everybody else.
We're gonna have to come back and revisit those codes, you know, we started going through them, but we've got to go through those ordinances.
Yes, I agree.
But as we start trying to enforce them, you know, we've got some issues.
You got it.
On this number 5, we can't accept a bid for this property. We're gonna have to change this to go out for bids. Go out for bids for that 408 Reed Street.
Why do we have a deed in our?
Yeah.
Why do we have a deed?
Allison just sent it over here, I think, because it does belong to the city, so she just sent that over here.
And we have to bid it because of the,
Well, we bid it before and we turned it down, so we gotta rebid it. Municipal Order 2012, go out for bids for the property at 408 Reed Street. Is that correct, Helen?
Yes.
It's,
Let me look at mine.
That's what's on here.
it's 408 Reed Street.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we're gonna make it be in by, what'd you say this morning, August 1st?
We have that in the Monday one?
Thanks.
Well, that's August 1st.
Yes.
August
August
Yes.
1st, 4 o'clock on August the 1st.
Mayor, 408 Reed, you got a house on it?
Yes,
It's the one there on the right.
it's next to Miss Betty's house,
Okay,
yeah.
bring it on mine right here.
Mhm.
That one, this board, what, 101?
Yeah, Municipal Order 2012-101, go out for bids for the house on Reed Street. And they have to be in by August 1st at 4 p.m. I need a motion,
I move,
second.
Martha and Bill.
we're working us to death.
I won't be letting anybody talk next time.
Call the
I
roll,
would
please.
second this meeting motion here.
Commissioner Norton?
Yes.
Commissioner Bowles?
Yes.
Mayor Forster?
Yes. Municipal Order 2012-100, authorization for the city clerk to publish the 2011 delinquent taxes. I think you have that in your packet. It's quite extensive. Some of you will never see. I did call and get some collected on one day. I did real good, but I had to go to work, so I didn't get a whole lot of them done. But,
Helen, help me remember what the next phase is after this is published and they're not paid. I understand what happens if they are paid, but if they're not, what's the next step?
Unless you decide to do another mass foreclosure, I'll get several calls from tax collectors that actually buy city tax bills. We've never done that before. It's another option you might want to look at.
But if we don't do that, what step would the city take beyond this, the next step?
We're taking no steps except for mass foreclosure
Okay.
2 or 3 years ago.
I'm with you. Does, and I assume that the interest continues to accrue?
Yes.
yes, it does. Mhm. There was some more I was gonna get to, but I had time.
So you're saying that people that buy these tax bills are bill collectors?
That's what it is.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot
And what they're
of
doing is
companies buy
basically-
the tax bills and then they have a lien and et cetera, et cetera. I hope that we can visit this again after it's published.
And we will, there'll be a lot coming in pay.
A lot of
There-
what's left. I'm a little bit, I find the list interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's the best
Oh,
way
yeah.
to say it.
You know what it is.
Uh,
I called some people back.
Yeah, I
We'll
called,
give it more time.
yeah.
Well,
Okay, I need a motion to publish the 2011 delinquent city taxes.
I would move.
Martha, Bill, call the roll, please.
Commissioner Rhodes?
yes.
Commissioner Powell? Nichols?
Yes. Second reading of City Ordinance 2012-08, allowing the pit bull dogs inside the city. Is that what it says?
Yes. What about pit, you got all these regulations for them to have them in, that's it.
Okay, all right.
These regulations to allow.
To allow, yes.
That's what I said, it's to allow, okay. City Ordinance 2012-08, an ordinance of the City of Fulton, Kentucky, amending section 8.5.1 and all applicable subsections of chapter 8 entitled Animals of the City of Fulton. Whereas the mayor and city commission of the city of Fulton has elected in response to overwhelming concerns and requests for certain restrictions and requirements to be placed upon the ownership or harboring of dogs that are deemed to be a threat to the general public. And whereas the mayor and city commission have recognized an increasing risk to public health and safety of the citizens of Fulton as a result of potentially dangerous and vicious dogs within the corporate city limits, and therefore is our amending the following section for the purpose of regulating and controlling these animals. And therefore be it hereby ordained by the Board of Commissioners of the City of Fulton, Kentucky, the following. Chapter 8, Section 8-1, the Act 5-1 is hereby revised and amended to read as follows, to wit, Section 8-5.1, restrictions upon the ownership of vicious animals. A, it is widely recognized that potentially dangerous and vicious animals are a serious threat to the safety and welfare of the citizens of the Fulton, City of Fulton, Kentucky. The City Commission strongly believes that certain restrictions, requirements, and regulations should be established for owning or harboring animals that are deemed to pose a threat to the general public's safety and well-being. The restrictions and requirements for owning or harboring animals that are defined as vicious shall be as follows. A vicious animal is defined to include A, any animal with a propensity, tendency, or disposition to attack, to cause injury to, or to otherwise endanger the safety of human beings or domestic animals. B, any animal which chases or approaches a person upon the street, sidewalks, or any public place in a menacing fashion or apparent attitude of attack. C, any animal owned or harbored primarily or in part for the purpose of fighting, or any animal trained for fighting. D, any animal which attacks a human being or domestic animal without provocation, and or E, pit bulls, Rottweilers, and any mixed breeds thereof. A pit bull dog means and includes the Staffordshire Bull Terrier breed of dog, the American Staffordshire Terrier of dog, the American Pit Bull Terrier breed of dog, and any and all dogs that have the appearance and characteristics of being predominantly of the breed of dogs known as Staffordshire Bull Terrier, American Staffordshire Terrier, or American Pit Bull Terrier that conform to the standards established by the American Kennel Club, or Staffordshire Bull Terriers, American Staffordshire Terriers, or American Pit Bull Terriers. A Rottweiler means and includes a Rottweiler breed of dog, the Rottie breed of dog, the German Rottweiler breed of dog, the American Rottweiler breed of dog, and all dogs that have the appearance and characteristics of being predominantly of the breeds of dog known as Rottie, Rottweiler, German Rottweiler, or American Rottweiler, and that conform to the standards established by the American Kennel Club for Rottweilers, Rotties, German Rottweilers, or American Rottweilers. 2, proper confinement for vicious animals. It shall be unlawful for any person to keep or harbor within the city a vicious animal unless it is all times kept on the owner's or harborer's property, which securely contained indoors or in a securely enclosed and locked outdoor pen or shelter suitable to prevent the entry of young children and designed to prevent the animal from escaping. Such pen must have either sides 6 feet tall or a secure top. If it has no concrete, cement, or asphalt bottom, the sides must be embedded into the ground no less than 1 foot. All such pens must provide protection from the elements for the animal and be in a clean and sanitary condition. When any animal is required by this section to be confined, it should be also required that a conspicuous notice be posted at the place of confinement of such a nature as to warn the public of the nature of the animal therefore confined. Number 3, restraint of owner's premises. Vicious animals shall be permitted off the owner's or harbor's property only if such animals are muzzled and restrained by a substantial chain or leash not exceeding 6 feet in length and under the control of a responsible adult at least 18 years of age. The muzzle must be made in a manner that will not cause injury to the animal or interfere with the vision or respiration, but must prevent the animal from biting any person or animal. 4, other requirements. No person under the age of 18 years of age shall be permitted to own, harbor, or handle a vicious dog. B, owners of vicious animals must provide proof to the city clerk of public liability insurance in the amount of at least $100,000, insuring the owner for any personal injuries inflicted by his or a vicious animal. Enforcement. Authority to enforce this section shall be vested in officers of the Fulton City Police Department and the City of Fulton Animal Control Officer or officers. The violation of any provision of this section shall constitute a Class A misdemeanor punishable by a fine of up to $500 or imprisonment up to 12 months in the county jail or both. Each day of such violation of this section shall constitute a separate offense. C, specifically excluded from this provision or this section shall be the following. 1, trained service dogs that are actually being used to assist disabled persons, such as dogs who are blind or deaf. 2, a trained service dog that is in the custody of any law enforcement person or agency and that is actually being used to assist in law enforcement. And C, licensed veterinarian clinics. This is the second reading. First reading was June the 25th. Second reading, July 23rd. Publication date, July the 26th, 2012. Okay. Sure hope you don't want to do it again. I need a motion that we accept this ordinance.
I second.
Martha and Bill. Call the roll, please.
Commissioner Middleton?
Yes.
Commissioner Fowle?
Yes.
Mayor Foster?
Yes. Other business. See, anybody from any guests that have a question? You have a question? City manager? Not yet. Commissioners? Mr. Bill?
I have a couple things,
Okay.
of course. One, I don't usually go into these unpaid invoices. We've talked about that 1,000 times in the past. I'm just, I noticed that we pay quite a bit of money to clean the Pontotoc building. And I wonder, could we not get the inmates to do that?
We've been talking about that.
Okay.
That's been discussed.
Okay.
Just
Okay,
get rid of it.
it would be. I just want to. The other thing I have is about the budget. I'm looking at the year-end report that covers the 12-month period that ended June 30th, 2012. And I won't go into detail with that, but I guess
Those were things that got in just before the new year, is that correct? A lot of them? Are you talking about what?
no, I'm talking about the budget
Oh,
last
okay.
year's
You're talking about the
Oh,
June
okay.
30th.
Okay,
June
sorry.
30th ending.
Okay.
And I noticed almost in every case, at least our revenues are below budget. And I noticed also that in almost every case, not entirely, but almost in every case, in the expenditure arena, we've overspent our budget. For last year, the city has overspent its budget in almost every department, and it has received less revenues than what we have budgeted. And I'm wondering, are you planning to? I would appreciate a simple, straightforward end-of-year report for that year, just showing how that relates to the budget, because if we overspent, obviously we dipped into the reserves, and I'd like to know the magnitude of that dipping into reserves.
Okay.
And then the second point, and I guess, again, I'm sure that Cubby's way ahead of me, usually is, and that is, I know that this is just the first month of the budget year of July, but in order to stay on top of things like this, I'm hoping that we can put on the agenda, or at least review a budget status every single month that we meet. And I'd like to see us know what we have anticipated to spend and what we spent
Okay.
in terms of percentage of the budget versus what percent of that line item we spent. And if we do that, then that pretty well takes care of the voucher list that we've talked about many times before.
Okay, that's
Thank
good.
you, that's
Okay,
very much.
okay. Well, city attorney's not here, I don't have anything. Municipal Order 2012-102 to adjourn into executive session to discuss personnel in compliance with KRS 613-18. Need a motion?
Second.
Call roll.
Commissioner Reagan, Commissioner Brown.
It's every Commissioner tomorrow, it may not be working.
Still working here.
It don't work in here, but it's not working